Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the difference between SEO optimized content and content written specifically for social media, Pinterest, and so forth. Now, in the past, I have never given this advice because the advice has always been to focus on SEO optimized content. If it's not optimized, you shouldn't write it. Things are changing. There's no denying that the landscape of SEO and blogging is changing. Do I think SEO is completely going away? No, I don't, because, the billions of people on the planet still go to Google. Actually, lately, they're going to Yahoo and Bing a little more often because Google's not being very fruitful with its answers. But people still go and search for content. Not everybody's in YouTube, not everyone's in Pinterest. And so I don't think it's going away completely, but I think it is evolving. And so we need to kind of keep up with that. But at the same time, the other side of it, Pinterest, for example, is being very, very fruitful as a search engine. And so we've talked about Pinterest in this training, that you definitely want to optimize your content that you do write for SEO for Pinterest, but also do research in Pinterest to see what people are looking for in there so you can create more content and, create your boards and your pins and all that. You can go watch those videos if you missed that part of it. But we can also create content on our site for the sole purpose of Pinterest SEO. Now, this is kind of a new thing. So, how this is going to play out over the next year or two, I don't know the answer to that. I don't think anybody does. But if your site does have solid SEO, at least free last Google update solid SEO, I thought my site was solid, but apparently not. I would make sure when you're creating this Pinterest only content that you do make these pages, these posts, no index, put the no index tag on them so that if and when, Google figures out it messed up and fixes, that at least your SEO to non-SEO dilution rate is still low. In other words, you have more optimized content on your site and you don't have stuff that's not optimized because that non-optimized amount dilutes this value and makes it less. And so it can impact your overall score. But that being said, right now, SEO is not being friendly. So creating content for the sole purpose of Pinterest traffic, it's a thing. People are doing it. I'm doing it. It's being very, very fruitful. But these pieces of content should have that no index tag. All right. So what is Pinterest only content? There's no SEO involved for one, other than the fact that it's something people look for on Pinterest. So Pinterest SEO is the topic, the board, the words on the pin being pinned to that board, and then the Pinterest description. That's it. There's no headings and, all this stuff where you got to get the keyword in there a billion times. So Pinterest SEO works completely different. There's a video on that. If you didn't watch it, make sure you go find it. But you can create content that people on Pinterest are looking for that maybe people in regular search engines are, or maybe they are, but you're not optimizing it for search engines. You're strictly optimizing it for Pinterest. So what does that look like? Well, we've done the keyword research for all things Bible study. So let's go with that one. Now, this will apply to any niche that you're in that does well on Pinterest. As I explained before in previous videos, not everything does well on Pinterest. So if you're in a niche that after doing your keyword research inside the Pinterest tools, you've determined this is a viable niche for Pinterest, these are topics people are looking for, then make content about them. So in Bible study, we had Bible study lessons, we had methods, notes, prayer journal stuffs like the printables about all things, right? Sunday school lessons, kids games, all the stuff. We know that stuff does well on Pinterest. I personally know that does well on Pinterest. I can't speak this morning because I have 3 accounts, 2 solely focused on Bible study, 1 solely focused on prayer, and they all do really, really well. One of them alone gets between 2 and 3 million monthly views, which translates to anywhere from 12 to 15 or 16,000 visits to my blog just from Pinterest. And so it varies from month to month. So Looking at seasonal content, things for Christmas, things Easter, again, thinking biblically, the main Christian holidays, but even some that aren't technically Christian, but that you might add a Christian kind of, I have Christian Valentine stuff. I have Christian Valentine cards, Valentine's bingo, things like that. Those are all things people look for in Pinterest. So if you had content created around that topic that has no SEO value, but it's written because people on Pinterest are looking for it, then you can make, 5, 6, 10 pins for it and put it to the relevant boards, and people will find your content. For the Bible study, we'll go with a character study. So let's say, who is Ruth, right? Ruth Bible study. This is something people look for in Pinterest. I know because I have the content. And so instead of having a long, drawn out, fully optimized SEO with all the questions and all the stuff, right, that takes like a good, 20 minutes to read, make it in a short form, make it simple for someone who's, scrolling on their phone. So what would that look like? Ruth Bible study lesson, simple Ruth Bible study lesson. Ruth Bible study lesson for beginners. By the way, those were all board names that I mentioned. And so you would start off with hey, here's an overview. Have you heard of this story of Ruth? If not, here it is. You can read about Ruth and then put like the verses where in the Bible where you find her story. And in your post, maybe link to that on Bible Gateway or something so they can go read it, for real. And then do a short summary. Like, what is Ruth's story? Okay, so her husband died, she went with her mother-in-law, right? Just summarize it, like the dummies version, like the stuff that if you've never heard of Ruth, you don't have time to read a book, which is what most people are looking for, by the way, not a book. For dummies, the Cliff's Notes version, a short overview / summary of the story of Ruth. And then put some questions in there, right? Chat GPT, I've mentioned that in the past. So, to make your printables for them to take away, or maybe your paid product, whichever route you're going, put some of those questions at the bottom of the post. So after it's like, hey, here you go. Now go read the entire, story in the Bible and then come back and answer these questions. That's Bible study content. We're not looking for, a long 8-week study. I just want a quick overview study that I can read today to learn about this woman, and then add the questions. And then, of course, add in your opt-in, which is the printable version of the questions, along with the upsell to your full study journal or whatever you have. Okay. Bible reading plans, all those Bible reading plans that we make with the, list of verses of scripture for the month. Create content around that, and then pin the actual reading plan plus pins, like actual blog post pins for the reading plan, all leading back to that page. I know Bible reading plans do great because that is one of my top probably 5 traffic posts for 2 of my sites, because I have them on two different sites, and it always brings traffic, always, always, always. So that's the kind of content you could create without the headache of having to optimize it for SEO, waiting for traffic to come because, SEO and Google just being cray-cray right now. But if you create multiple pins, put them out there on Pinterest, these are things that are going to bring you traffic fairly quickly. By the way, many of these things will also do well on social media. Now, I'm not going to get into the semantics of building a Facebook page that generates a lot of traffic because, it is Facebook, and you honestly need to have probably several thousand, like maybe upwards of 10,000 followers to your Facebook page. And you can't just be sharing link posts. In other words, every post that you make on your page can't be a link to go check out something. People don't go to Facebook to read blog posts, but Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook. And so if all you're dropping is actual links, taking people away from Facebook, Facebook's going to throttle the reach of your post, even to the 10,000 followers. So you actually need a strategy for building traffic through Facebook. But here's a little hack. What you share on your blog Facebook, as soon as you hit publish, then go to your personal profile and share it there. Because then all your friends, however many people you're friends with on Facebook, can see it as well. I actually get more engagement on the reshare to my personal page than I get on the share to my blog page. And so if you've got a lot of church friends, right, which you all should, then chances are you're going to get at least some engagement on it while you're building kind of your blog reach and so forth. So again, I wanted to make this video just because things are changing and it's important that you understand this. And I know some people are just like, I just don't want to do SEO. I get it, right? I'm kind of right there right now. And I'm really just focusing on Pinterest and social media traffic. And so if that's what you want to do, but you still have to do your research. You can't just write a devotional about whatever and then make pins for it and then think people are going to click it. You have to go into Pinterest. You have to do your research, determine what type of content people are looking for in Pinterest, and create content around that. So the research part is still there, but the writing part of it is going to be a little easier, which means you could probably get more of it done because you don't have to go through all the formatting and properness of it like you did for SEO. So let me know if you have any questions. Drop your comments below. Hop over to the Facebook group. Let me know there. And let's try this, right? I'm not saying like, let's try and see what happens. Like, I know it's working because I'm doing it. A few other big time bloggers have been doing it. But if you've got your Pinterest in order, this method will work. But again, I don't think you should completely vacate the organic side of it. In other words, the SEO part, because eventually everything comes back full circle. 2 or 3 years ago, Pinterest was the enemy. Here we come back again 2 to 3 years later, Pinterest is our friend. And I do think that will probably happen with SEO and organic search as well. So we don't want to completely get rid of that basket. We just want to dedicate current time, a little less of the current time to that basket, if that makes sense. So, all right, guys, that's all for this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.